Hi creators, it's Claire from Springworth and this is one finished hexagon. In fact, two finished hexagon pieces for the jacket, and I am very close to a third. I just need to add 3 more columns on here to create my second front piece. So while I finish off these pieces, let me take you back in time to show you where these hexagons have been, because they've had a bit of a tour around New South Wales and ACT. So I will show you that, and then I will bring you back when it's finished, and I'll talk to you a little bit about how I'm going to iron the back of these, because it is a bit of a overlap. It's not a mess, there's just a lot of overlapping. So I will show you how I'm going to iron these, and then my 3 pieces will be ready, and I will pull out the pattern and we will hopefully get the pattern pieces ready. Now, I'm not sure I'm actually going to cut them out in this video because that feels like a huge step, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for that. Hopefully this is my last row of hexagons, so all the pieces here ordered and ready to go, and for posterity I thought I would time exactly how long it takes to get these put together into a row. That is the last hexagon on, like I said, hopefully the last row, and it took 25 minutes approximately, or 12, for about 2 minutes per hexagon per seam. And just to summarize, to remind you, the seam itself is just under 1.5 inches. So now I just have to put the last 3 rows onto the last patchwork. So I have those 3 ready to go. It's time to add the last row of hexagons. Let's see how long this takes. that is the last hexagon on the last row. My hexagons are all pieced, ready for the next stage. It's really good. That took me 45 minutes, just under 40 minutes maybe. So this is the back, and you can see everything's kind of sticking up away from the front, which is not what we wanted. Everything's a bit crinkled and a bit of a mess. Now, normally I do love an open seam, but you can see if I separate these two, and then I try to separate these two, I end up with these kind of really small triangles. You see that? There's a triangle sitting in here. And what happens is that starts to pop up. Like, obviously I've not ironed it, this is just finger pressing, but it doesn't really sit flat, even once ironed. And I would be worried about those unraveling while I was trying to do quilting. So instead, what you try to achieve, and I've seen this work really nicely, is this kind of rhombus or diamond almost in a spiral. And you see they all sit outward. Now that does mean some of the seams are pressed, all of the seams are pressed one way, but in the center here, then it's actually not multiple layers of fabric. There are 4 layers here where the most folds are, but if you were to try to press everything closed, you end up with more folds anyway. So you do have to start at a point and work your way across, because the way one seam is pressed will impact what you can do with the other parts of the same hexagon. So if you were to press this open, you wouldn't want to press this open because you're going to have like a lot of bulk in this section here. So you would press this open to the dark side, and then you would press this one open to the spot side, and then you'll see you can achieve that spiral here. But it impacts the way you can achieve the spiral here, because you want this side down, which means you then want this side up to create the spiral. So it is a progressive ironing. Don't pick and choose as you go, because you will find you have to repeat things. This is 3 finished and lovingly ironed patchwork hexagon pieces. So let's lay the pattern out and I'll tell you how I'm going to turn these into a jacket. So these are the 3 pieces, 2 pieces for the front and a piece for the back, and the pattern pieces at the back and at the front, and you can see that dart there. So rather than creating a seam line across the shoulder, I'm actually going to piece the hexagons together. Now we'll need to think about what happens with the slope of the shoulder, but that's all right. And the 2 front pieces are wider than the back for the seam allowances in the center. I also want them to overlap a bit. If you can remember way back to when I showed you my fabric stash, I put these as a bundle. I actually had this one from Canberra, but these are going to become the inside of the jacket because I want it to be reversible. So I'm just going to strip piece these and create some different lengths and varying lengths of rectangles. That is the plan then. Now, if you haven't already guessed how many hexagons, you're going to need to do that now, because I will tell you the answer in just a moment. But first, this took me just over 3 months, so 13 weeks and 6 days to be precise, and I have really enjoyed the process and can very much see more hand stitching, more paperless piecing, more hexagons in my future for sure. But first I will need to finish this jacket, but you'll have to stick around for the next video for that. So the hexagons then, so I have 15 rows of 12 hexagons and 14 rows of 11 hexagons, which makes for 334 hexagons. So this has been part 4 of the hexagon body warmer gilet jacket series. Now, if you're inspired or you want to find out how to do some of this, go and check out the other videos where I go through the hand piecing method that I'm using. This is completely paperless. This is completely done by hand, and I'll show you how to do that without paper in those videos. I do have a few hexagons actually left over, and so with the trimmings and those hexagons, I'm actually hoping to make some pockets because I think that's going to look fabulous. But you will have to stick around for the next video to see that, and I hope to see you there.